is just a fun group to be a part of. That whole last sequence was awesome with Brian pinning him deep with a punt, defense getting a stop, getting a good punt return, and then getting in position and coming through. So that was a very fun moment to be a part of.
And I'm glad you mentioned Brian and Jake. Brian, when you speak to the importance of special teams, it looks like that punt really pinned well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we needed out of him. It was just a great sequence of team football that really pulled together well for us.
What do you think when they have a timeout and you're out there thinking, are they going to call one or not? Does that go through your mind at all?
No, I'm focused on making the kick. The whistle will stop me if it needs to.
It wasn't that long ago when a previous coaching staff decided that you were the kicker for this team to be back here and to win a team. But now you're back and you've won a game for this team. Is that rewarding? How does that feel?
Every opportunity is rewarding, to be honest with you. I'm happy to do my part with this group. The guys in the locker room are awesome. This whole game was a ton of fun to be a part of. This whole locker room is a ton of fun to be a part of. So I'm embracing the ride and doing my part.
There was a huge cheer that came out of this locker room about 5 minutes after we all came in here. What's it mean to you to know that you kind of elicited that cheer?
The Dallas Cowboys get after Joe Burrow and the reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, sacked for 6 times. He's held to just 199 yards through the air as the Cowboys win in Week 2 at AT&T Stadium, 20-17. Let's hear from head coach Mike McCarthy and his thoughts after the first Cowboys win of 2022.
Wow, a lot of enthusiasm in here today. Oh, goodness.
Out in the locker room, Coach.
David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Was this game, 1, how did you play, and 2, is it kind of the template for how you're going to need to play to give yourself a chance to win during this period?
Well, really, I think each and every year, I mean, you're in tune with your personnel and which ways, you have to push the, stress points and so forth. I mean, complementary football has been our message really coming out of the offseason. So that's why we, spent more time in the padded work in the run game. Obviously the defense, defensive run game, obviously we're very, good, excellent depth on defense. So play to your defense, special teams. So, that was the game plan. We wanted to commit to the run. We still have work to do on third down. I mean, that's, I really like where we were at halftime with the blend of run and pass. And I think we're 50% at the half and third down. So, but obviously the second half was a different story. Give them some credit. But our guys, just kept banging away, and defense super productive with the 6 sacks and hanging in there. This is a very, very talented offense, and talking about a football team that played in the Super Bowl last year. So I think that speaks for itself. So we knew it was going to be a big challenge, but it's very rewarding when you watch your football team don't blink after last Sunday and then have a really good week. Your Wednesday's practice was okay, but Thursday we were where we needed to be. So we're young in spots. Some of our young guys did some excellent things, but they made a few mistakes, and that's where you want to be. I mean, you want to win football games and have the opportunity to correct and grow, and that's what will come out of this. This was an excellent win for us. I'm just so happy for our players. Especially the time and energy, because we all have the same amount of time, but just the time and energy and focus they put in the end of game situations and to go down and win that at the end of the game. Brett, I mean, I'm so happy for Brett. He gets to come back home here and he makes the game winner. So we actually gave him the game ball here in the locker room. So excellent team win.
Clarence Shot, Dallas Morning News. Sorry. 4th and 2 on the very first series. Most people assume you're going to punt. You got a backup quarterback. What was the decision there, and how did that go?
I mean, just really trusting the ebb and flow and the momentum of the game. 4th and 3 or less is something you go in thinking. But I thought we had our pads down. I thought just the first couple of runs leading up to that we were getting the apex that you look for. So I just had confidence in the situation, confidence in the call, and and obviously it was an excellent execution.
Football structure program. A couple of questions on the 4th and 2. Well, that's also you giving confidence to your team, letting them know that, hey, we're going for this. We're going to win this game. We're going to do everything. Leave it out.
Well, man, I hope they see that in me every time I get in front of them, or every time I interact with them. Yeah, we're here to win. I mean, and 4th and 2 is, especially that early, especially with our defense, punting is not a bad decision. But once again, just felt good about the way we started. I think it just really points to where the team was coming in here, the preparation leading into it. So yeah, I mean, it's anytime you can show confidence in your team, that's what you want to do as a coach. So I mean, I don't want to be, taking crazy risks and so forth. Tried it. It's not worth it most of the time. So I think it was just, once again, we felt good about them. I just like the way we started. So I thought it was a very easy decision.
Piggybacking on that, Cooper Rush. I mean, the calm. He started out the game well, and obviously things didn't go as well in the middle of the game. But at the end of the game, you guys still had confidence he could lead you to a victory.
Yeah, see, that's Cooper Rush. That's who we see every day. I mean, he's the same. I mean, he is so steady, personality type, and he never blinks. I mean, you look at the time of possession and the way the first half went, and then it flipped in the second half, which happens in the NFL. I mean, every game's so damn hard to win. You're playing an outstanding football team, so there's going to be ebb and flow of the game, but he never changes. He stays the same. The communication on the bench, and I mean, how it's actually exciting to see him get excited. After he won the game, so you get a charge out of it because he is so consistent.
Coach, did you see you had 6 sacks today? The Bengals last week had 7 sacks. Did you see something in that line to where you could attack in certain areas?
Well, I think just like in every week, you're trying to create matchups, and we have great, confidence in our pass rush and in the depth of it too. I mean, you go to the 3rd and 10, do you take the penalty there? But I'll take 3rd and 10 with our fever package, versus that matchup any day. So that's just how we feel about it. They did a nice job protecting the second half with the chipping and was able to stymie us some. But yeah, I mean, that's a big part of why we have so many defensive linemen on this team. So we have great belief in our pass rush.
Just a reminder, let us know who you are. What platform is for you? Right here. I'm sorry.
Hey, Coach Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Talk a little bit about Noah Brown, the game he had in such a monumental, setting against a team that's coming off of the Super Bowl. Strong camp from him, but he was able to kind of put it all together today.
I know he's a stud. I mean, he's so competitive. He did a great job. I think just like a lot of players, they get lighter the longer they play. So just the off season he had, obviously. The anticipation of the opportunity that he was going to have this year, and you're just seeing the payoff of it. So tough, football player, both on offense and special teams. Love the way he plays. I mean, how many receivers are your personal protector on punt teams? So one tough dude.
So Mike McCarthy talking it over and really going through the offense, through the defense, through the special teams, because it took everybody to get this win, 20-17 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Back here with Barry Church and Nate Newton. Nate, let's start with you. I mean, this is a response game for Dallas Cowboys Nation, and after really an embarrassing loss in Week 1, they were able to turn around, didn't rely on that, and didn't hang their heads. They came out with something to prove this week.
They did. I mean, and all week long we heard from Stephen Jones. We heard from the head coach, and they was, hey, you need to step up. I ain't saying they was pointing fingers, but they put a little pressure on guys. And guys came out and played. Cooper Rush, like I said earlier, he was fearless. He believed in what he was doing. His boy, him and Noah Brown was connected up. And as Coach said, they just got, it's 16 more, 15 more of these games, and they're hard to win in the NFL. But he stays consistent. That's one thing I can say about Coach Gardner. He don't get too high, he don't get too low, and he come back and they had a few mojo moments this past game.
And they converted.
Yeah.
And they converted. But like you said, I mean, it wasn't a must-win game. It was only week 2. Like you said, there's an extremely long season. But this was a game where they had to perform better than they did in week 1. I felt offensively they played poor in week 1. Defense, they showed up a little bit, but they still gave up a little on the ground game. But for this game, I think it was, I won't say it's a complete victory, but I mean, it was as close as you can be to just having an all-out complete victory in this game. I mean, offensively, like you mentioned, Cooper Rush was extremely efficient out there. Offensive line, they blocked their tails off. And we can't say enough about this defense. I mean, the defensive line, the front 7, everybody was flying around out there. And I like the word that the coach used right there, resilience. I mean, it was a bad showing week one. It's how you respond in these moments. And this team as a whole, they responded well, and hopefully they can keep it up throughout the rest of this season.
And Barry, you mentioned it right there. I mean, the fact that the offense did what they needed to do, but there's still things to clean up on that side of the football without Dak Prescott at quarterback. Cooper Rush came in and he plugged the holes where he needed to get the win. When we come back, we hear from Cooper Rush as he's now 2-0 as a starter in the NFL. How about that? Let that sink in, Cowboys Nation. We hear from the quarterback when we come back on more Cowboys OT.
Yeah. When you hear a comment like that, what is your reaction, and how much does that motivate you going into the game?
It don't really do nothing for me. You know, I know what I'm capable of. You know, my coaches know what I'm capable of. You know, my team know what I'm capable of. So, you know, I just go out there, every play, just give it all I got. And, you know, we take care of the rest and try to get W's.
I heard you say a couple days ago on the radio that you're not much of a trash talker when you're out there on the field.
Yeah.
But when you do hear something like that, does that maybe just make you want to go out and show, like you're saying, just do it with your play? Does it make you want to go out there and show what your technique is and how well you can play against a guy of his caliber?
Not necessarily. I feel like, it's just talking. You know, people just talking. People want reactions. You know, I never get nobody reaction. You know, I always play the bigger person role, and and just do my work on the field. You know, let my work show for itself, and just go out there and make plays.
There was a sense outside of this locker room when Dak goes down that there goes the season, it's over. But it didn't seem like you guys ever felt that way this week. I mean, am I accurate with something?
100%.
What was it like going into the game, and do you think this proved that you guys were right about that?
100%. We know everyone had to step up. You know, we know what everyone's capable of. You know, we know what we had to do to go out there and get the W, and the team just did that. Great team. Offense did a great job on offense. Defense did a great job on defense, and special teams did a great job on special teams. We got the W.
Watching that field goal go through. What's that like on a sideline, a game winner like that? I mean, what's the reaction like?
It feels good. Walk off field goal. Let's go home.
We heard a huge roar come out of this locker room about 5 minutes after we all came in here. What was that moment like, and what was said that kind of led to that reaction?
I feel like we just, we're happy. All the work we put in, it was on.
Cowboys OT from the Star in Frisco. Cooper Rush getting his second win of his NFL career, threw for 235 yards and a touchdown. Let's hear from the starting quarterback after the 20-17 victory.
Cooper, Dallas Morning News. Second NFL start, second time you've led the team to the winning points in the final drive. Just what that means to you and how it keeps this kind of team engaged. If we can just keep it close, we give.
Yeah, that was a big one for us. You don't want to fall down 0-2. Needed that first win. Defense obviously kept us in tonight, and then Brett at the end doing his job, and 88 on that last drive and the protection, and then Noah Brown catching the tip ball. It's pretty incredible.
Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Speaking of Noah Brown, can you talk about the game that he had and the matchup of this magnitude?
Yeah, he's a baller. We've been together since we were rookies. We're still around, and he just keeps getting better and better every year. And he earned that starting spot, and you guys got to see it tonight. Why? All he does is make tough catches. All he is in the right place at the right time. The fourth down early on, got in there perfectly. Cut that one loose, and he was there. He's a heck of a player.
Cooper, Tim Kalishaw, Dallas Morning News. The first fourth down on that first drive, did you take a couple steps toward the sideline before you found out you were going for it? And what does that do for the team to have that kind of confidence?
Yeah, I was glad we went for it after missing the throw on third down. We were in our own territory, right? 40, yeah. So it was aggressive, and Noah made it work. Protection was good, and that was big for us to get off on the right foot.
Noah, you mentioned the protection. I'm sorry.
Clarence Hill Forward Star Telegram. Are you excited? You happy?
Definitely. Winning NFL games is a lot of fun.
Just talk about just the feeling in that locker room, because you look subdued now, but just the confidence that they have in you and what you're showing them that you can hold the fort.
Yeah, you just want to do your job, trust your teammates. tonight we were smart. We ran the ball, a couple long drives early on, got our defensive breather, and then those guys just hung on at the end. The second half, we went 3-and-out a couple times, and those guys, they deserve all the credit.
Todd Archer with ESPN. When you go out there for that last drive, what are you thinking? Are you thinking just positive play on the first play and get it going, or are you thinking big picture? What's in your mind?
I was thinking great job by Terp getting us, not backed up, got us out there a little bit. We only needed Brett's got a big leg. His range is pretty out there, so you just had to get a few first downs. That first down we always talk about in 2 minutes important, and CD making a good play on the first one, and then Noah's tip catch, and we were able to get in range.
So we heard it throughout the week, and we also heard it on Pregame Live that there was a lot of confidence in this locker room around Cooper Rush. He's been in the system for 6 years. He's been a quarterback in the NFL for 7 years. Isaiah, when you looked at him coming into the week, he's got a limited skill set. He's not the starter for a reason, but he did what he needed to tonight for a win.
He needed to be driving Miss Daisy. That's all he needed to do. And that's exactly what he did tonight. He was put in a position where he just had to drive the school bus, the magic school bus, give his guys the ball, give them an opportunity, make sure that they stay in good down and distances, and then don't turn the ball over. That's all they asked of him. That's what he did and more tonight. Got him the victory.
And I'll go back to what you guys said earlier. He protected the football. He managed it well. He gave it to Zeke early. He gave it to Tony Pollard early. And he finished up with Noah Brown and those guys. So he did his job. And he looked, he's like a great Western star just riding off into the sunset.
Nate, does this build your confidence for him moving into back-to-back divisional matchups? You've got New York next week. You've got Washington in week 4. Do you have more confidence in him in this offense now?
Yeah, I do. And I think they do. And I love it that they're making it about him, because that is who's going to lead you the next 2 or 3 games of the next month.
And they were able to get the ball to their playmakers a little bit as well, because CeeDee Lamb had some receiving yards. You had, of course, Noah Brown leading the way with 5 receptions for 91 yards and that big touchdown in the opening half. But on the other side of the football, it was the usual suspect. It was Micah Parsons in the backfield, another multi-sack game for the second-year man out of Penn State. We hear from him when we come back on Cowboys OT.
And how much did that help y'all the rest of the game with the way you wanted to split the run and pass in the game?
Yeah, the fast start was key. We got up. We could let our D-line kind of get after them in passing situations. And starting fast was key. It's something we talked about all week. We got finished probably a little better in the second half. But in the end, it worked out.
Coop, Chris on a 105.3 The Fan. You were talking about your protection. Could you talk a little bit about the offensive line and the job they did for you?
Yeah, heck of a job. We really ran the rock. TP had the long one. Was awesome early on. It was a big explosive run. We had a good plan, and those guys were on it. And even our not so good runs, we're still getting 2, 3, just staying ahead of the chains. And that's really important.
Sheree Williams, Pro Football Talk. Cooper, is this showing you with what you've done in the preseason in these 2 games to start that you could be a full-time starter in this league?
Yeah, every time you're out there, you just want to go play ball, do your job. I'm fortunate to be on a very good football team. That helps. Great players around me. And, you just want to keep getting better. It was in the end, it's only my second career start, and so you just want to keep improving. Tons of stuff to look at and learn from, and that's what we'll do this week.
Cooper, Stu Meyer from the Horn 104.9 FM in Austin. You talked about Noah Brown being a quality wide receiver. It looked like you and he had some great chemistry, particularly in the first half. Was there, a lot of work between you two this week, or was it, as you mentioned, just that past relationship?
After securing 13 sacks as a rookie in 2021, the question was asked this offseason, what would the encore look like for the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons? Well, so far, the encore looks much like the prequel to what has happened here in his sophomore season. 4 sacks. He's had 2 in each of the first 2 weeks. Here's what he had to say after his defense pulls out a win.
34 sacks through 2 games.
Obviously, a tremendous start to the season for you. What's working for you in the past game?
Man, just executing my game plan, just knowing when to take my shots, when not to take my shots, understanding when to go high, when to go low, when to run the game. I just put a lot of work into the season.
Outside this locker room, I think faith kind of evaporated when Dak went down. What was the belief in this room that you guys can go out there and get a win and keep this season afloat, even though it's only 2 weeks in?
I actually went to chapel yesterday, and the chapel man said, you have to go through tests to get to your testimony. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, like we're going through all these injuries, and he was going on about it. So sometimes you got to go through some stuff to get to where you want to go. But right now, we're still going through the storm. But, as we're going through the storm, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that's where we're heading.
Like, I'm sure the sacks feel really good. Plays that you create the disruption, like the one where Leighton got the sack. How does that feel for you when you're able to create the chaos where your teammates are able to get the sack?
Oh, it feels just as good because, it's all a team game here. One line can't do it by itself. You need a prod. Just like there's 10 hyenas on one line, the line's liable to lose, but the fact that I got 10 other guys out there and I feel that I can rely on, that's what makes this boat go around. And, that's kudos to Leighton because I knew exactly how he was going to set it up. We drew it up just like that, knowing they were crashing on me, but, still trying to win though, But, I mean, that's just mastering the game plan. That's just, how to feed off each other. That's what teamwork is.
Jordan said that the pressure that you guys put on, you could feel they were on the ropes early, the protection. Did you feel that too? Did you feel like you guys were impacting the game that way?
Yeah. We knew that they were chipping, they were max protecting most of the game, and I don't think they can beat us with 3 receivers down the field, too much defense, and we were still able to get pressure, but that was the game plan. We were expecting those chips, we executed on all cylinders. The only thing I wish is that we didn't give up the touchdown.
Michael, what's the message?
There's Micah Parsons, and there's the defensive stats along the way as well. 6 sacks of Joe Burrow as the Cowboys front 7 got after the reigning AFC champion quarterback, and they were able to do some damage to Burrow, including 4 of those 6 sacks coming in the first half. And Micah Parsons there talking about chaos, talking about storms, lions, hyenas, crashes. It doesn't matter. He's been a part of everything for this Cowboys defense. My question, if we're talking about being in the middle of a storm, Isaiah, is he the lightning or is he the thunder? Because he brings them both.
I think he's a hurricane, slurricane, tornado, whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
He can be absolutely everything because he creates havoc, and that's exactly what you want from this dude. I mean, obviously, he was the defensive rookie of the year last year. He's up for the MVP as well. He's picked up exactly where he left off. He's more experienced, he's more explosive, he's more knowledgeable, which means he's more dangerous.
Yeah, this guy, he's the leader overall, and he's not just your vocal leader. He's leading by example out there. And look, I understand he plays both positions, linebacker, defensive line as well, but to me, he creates the most havoc. He's the most, hurricane, slurricane, whatever you want to call it. The man creates the most havoc when he's on that defensive line hunting the quarterback. So to me, I don't know. Are we ready for the change? Should we put him down permanently for a defensive lineman? I don't know, man. The man creates a lot of havoc down there.
I think it's the back and forth that keeps keeps offensive lines a little bit at bay. So maybe we wait a little bit on the full-time move.
Okay.
It's been really fun to watch him. It was also really fun to watch Noah Brown and what he brought to the table as well, as he had a career day, including a touchdown and 91 yards receiving. We hear from Noah Brown when we come back with more Cowboys Game Night.
The offense is going 6-7 drives. They don't score any points. What's the message on the defensive end?
That we got it. I don't care what the offense put up. I told you, they could have 0, but we got to do our part. And, I think we're doing a damn good job at doing that. We hold 2 of the most elite offenses to 1 touchdown last 2 games and making them earn every little bit of it. That's how you be relentless, and that's what we've been preaching, and every guy in this room is bought in. Pain is part of the game. I'm in pain every week, but, I know my teammates need me. I know these coaches need me. I know people in the stands need me on the field, not on the bench. So, I'm just pushing through everything. Oh, that was huge. We even said that was the hardest we ever seen Diggs tackle. He shot out like a cannon. I was proud of myself. I was like, I was surprised. When I saw a 7, I was shocked for a second. But that was huge, man. Huge momentum, way to get off the field, 3 and out, and he was able to go down the field goal enough time.
You've seen the game locker room in about 5 Evans after y'all came here. How do you explain what this really means to this organization? Not as for you guys.
We've just been through so much as a team with injuries and one person going down, another person going down, and all the whispers, the Dallas Cowboys this, the Dallas Cowboys. But we just bought into each other and said, F what everybody else think. This is about us, and I think we came out here and proved that.
What was it like going against Lyle today?
It was fun. It was going back and forth. There was a couple where I felt like he got me, and there was a couple where I got him pretty good. That matchup was great. I mean, I love Lyle, bro. He's like a big brother to me. Like I said, he taught me the game of pass rushing. He really helped me, stayed after practice with me, watched stuff with me. So Lyle was like a big brother to me.
Back here on Cowboys OT as the Cowboys get a 20-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals, a win that included Noah Brown's first career touchdown reception. Prior to this season, only CeeDee Lamb in the receiving corps had a touchdown catch. That changed today. Here's what he had to say after a touchdown grab and 91 yards receiving.
Satisfying a game like this, and especially you making such a big impact.
Say that again?
Just how satisfying is this for you making such a big impact in this game?
Oh, it's extremely satisfying. This organization put a lot of trust in me for a long time. And, to come out here in a big stage, big moment, and make the play, I was happy that I was able to do that for my guys.
You and Cooper have both played a lot together, not always having the opportunities, but waiting and preparing for when it comes. How satisfying is it to do it with him, given that you guys have kind of similar journeys in that respect?
Man, it's huge. It's just a testament to all the work we put in the facility. Not a lot of people get to see Cooper or me in the past, really, but the work showed today, so I'm proud of that.
What are you gonna do with the footballs? It looks like Steve saved it for you.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep that one. Got to keep that one.
You got a place for it?
Not yet. I'll find one.
Confidence in Cooper Rush. I mean, in this offense to go for it on fourth down the way he did early in the game. What does that say about what Coach McCarthy was trying to message?
Nobody blinked an eye. I mean, we all have supreme confidence in Cooper Rush. So when he called the play, we was focusing on executing.
You've kind of been known for is doing the dirty work, right? I mean, McCarthy was talking about. What's it like for you to finally have the stats in the game too?
Oh yeah, it's great. But I was out there doing the dirty work today too. So I always take pride in that. Take pride in getting open. Take pride in blocking. Whatever I got to do.
You and Cooper obviously came in the same year back in 17. You spent a lot of time in practice building that camaraderie. What does it mean to have a game like this together?
It means a lot. Like I said, it's just a testament to our hard work and practice and the fact that the things that we do in the facility, they pay off on game day. So just having confidence in yourself, confidence in the next man next to you, and go out there and play.
Do you remember how it felt?
Noah Brown with the confidence, and for a good reason, as the Cowboys take down the reigning AFC champions 20-17 at AT&T Stadium. But what kind of impact does this have on the rest of the regular season for the Cowboys, and what's next as Dallas goes against some NFC East divisional foes when we come back and close things out on Cowboys OT?
Along with almost 100 yards, if not 100, like I said, I'm happy he did it.
We heard a pretty big cheer from this line. What does this win mean to this group? It seemed like you guys were louder than I've heard in a while.
Everything. It means everything to us as a group, as a unit, and as a whole. Just kind of taking this and using it as a confidence booster and traveling it to the next week. Just having a cohesiveness of each other and having each other's back and understanding that without the guy next to you, I don't know if this is possible. So just believing in each other, trusting each other, and then having everyone do their job. That's ultimately what's the result.
How hyped?
Sure.
Well, there was some frustration there last week, and it seemed like this week, we were getting open, getting some takeaways, some plays more so.
We won. We lost last week. We won this week. That's why my attitude is different.
How hyped are you guys as an offensive group when you're watching like it and then get after it?
It doesn't surprise us. It doesn't surprise us.
But how hyped are you guys when you get to see
Always excited. Love the defense, love the rush, love the guys in the back end. Very confident in our guys, and they've held us up, for a couple drives, when we fell short, and then for them to just go out there and, either get a 3-and-out or cause the other guys a very explosive offense to, settle for 3. I mean, that's a confidence booster leading our way.
All right, thank you, CD.
The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
AT&T Stadium was rocking tonight as the Dallas Cowboys get a 20-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 2 of the NFL season. The Cowboys get back to 500, 1-1 on the season, and the Bengals drop to 0-2. Just a reminder, all 7 teams last year in the NFL that started 0-2 did not make the playoffs, and the Bengals, coming off of a Super Bowl appearance, are at that 0-2 mark. As we wrap things up here on Cowboys OT, I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, and Nate Newton. And Barry, when you look at this win, it's just one win. Mm-hmm. Just like how last week was only one loss. It only counts for one each week in the NFL, and is a long season, 15 games still to go. But how much confidence does this build moving forward for a team that didn't have a whole lot after last week?
Well, you're right. I mean, like you said, it's one game at a time, and that's how they got to approach this season. It's a long season. Like you said, 15 more games left, so they got to approach it one game at a time. It was great to see how this team responded from that Week 1 loss to Tampa Bay. They came out offensively. They handled their business. Defensively, they were flying around the football, but it's time to put this win behind you. Now we got to go on to the next week. We got New York on Monday night, so hopefully these guys come well prepared, response once again, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys got.
You know what you're capable of. You know what you're capable of. I mean, you have a leader out there that can show you, that has shown you now back-to-back years that he's capable of putting a victory together. He did it last year against Minnesota. He did it this year now against Cincinnati. Obviously the defending AFC champion. So there's no longer a question mark in regards to that. Now you just have to go out there, take a whole week of game plan, and go out there and convert it against an undefeated team.
And more importantly, these guys are learning one another. The offensive line are learning who they are. The wide receivers are learning with this new quarterback who they are. And the coaches are seeing who they are. So as they go forward, they can put a better game plan together. They can execute a little bit crisper and have a complete game next week.
Yeah, it's a primetime matchup at MetLife Stadium next week, Monday Night Football. And Isaiah, you brought up a good point. That's the first place New York Football Giants up there in the Meadowlands. So you have to turn around and you have to have not a letdown. Let's say it that way. You just have to avoid the letdown next week. When you put the game plan together, is it going to look very similar to what they did this week, or are they going to have to change some things up?
I think it should look very similar to what they did this week. I liked how they came out there balanced. They gave Ezekiel Elliott 15 carries. Pollard had some as well. They put the ball in Cooper Rush's hands, and he didn't put the ball in harm's way. So if you can duplicate that same game plan offensively, I think you'll do great out there. Defensively, keep humming. Keep doing what you're doing. That front 7, keep those guys rotating and keep them in fresh legs out there so they can get after the quarterback. I love what you're doing, Dan Quinn, defensively. Let's keep this thing rolling.
I like to see them try to be a little bit more, consistent on the running game. I don't think that Zeke's getting the ball enough. I don't think they're getting enough yards on the ground. But in terms of what they need to do in order to secure the bag next week, I think they need to win the time of possession. They have a really good offense over there, offensive coordinator, obviously coming from over there in the AFC East, and they need a guy who can go. They need to do a better job of keeping the ball in their hands so that they don't have the opportunity, Danny Dimes and them, to score points.
It's so true what you just said, man. When you go on the road, you have to have great defense. You have to have some type of running game, and the special teams can't hurt you. And the time of possession on the road is everything. If you can hold that ball and give your defense a chance at the end of the game to win it, big things can happen.
The Cowboys lost the time of possession battle today to Cincinnati, especially in that second half. They only had a couple drives to work with Cooper Rush and company to try and get back into rhythm, but it doesn't matter because the Cowboys come out on top in this one. They scored when they needed to. A 50-yarder from Brett Maher to close out a 20-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. That does it for us on Cowboys OT. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. We'll be back next week to break it all down for you. For Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Noon, and our entire crew, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next week.